For months, the rumors would not stop. Toronto, Montreal, a superstar quietly touring neighborhoods in a city that was not the one paying his salary. Insiders swore Connor McDavid was preparing to leave the only franchise he has ever known. Then, at 29 years old, standing at the most important crossroads of his career, McDavid finally answered every single one of those rumors at once. Not with a trade request, not with a shocking free agency departure, with a decision that confirmed exactly what the smartest voices in hockey had been whispering for months. And it changes everything about how Edmonton's championship window actually looks right now. Let us rewind to understand just how loud this speculation actually got. Edmonton limped out of the last postseason in embarrassing fashion, eliminated in the first round by Anaheim after finishing the regular season well outside true contender territory. For a captain who has already dragged this franchise to back-to-back Stanley Cup final appearances, that kind of early exit stings in a way regular fans rarely appreciate. McDavid himself did not hide his frustration, saying afterward that the team had been average all year with high expectations, and that an average team carrying those expectations was always going to end in disappointment. Remember, this is not just any player weighing his future. This is a center many hockey historians already consider one of the greatest to ever play the position. A former league scoring champion multiple times over, a former league most valuable player on several occasions, and a captain who led his country to Olympic hockey with real distinction. Every year that passes without a championship adds weight to the conversation about his legacy, and every rumor about him leaving Edmonton carries extra emotional charge precisely because of how much history is potentially on the line. That disappointment created the perfect conditions for rumors to spread like wildfire. McDavid was heading into the final year of his contract with no long-term extension signed, a situation almost unheard of for a player of his caliber. Reports began circulating that he was in no rush to commit, that his camp wanted to see what moves Edmonton made before locking anything down. Around the same time, insiders in Montreal reported that sources had confirmed the Canadiens would be on a very short list of destinations if McDavid ever decided to leave Edmonton behind. Then his wife shared an Instagram story from a trip to Montreal during a Formula One race weekend, and the entire hockey world lost its mind. Suddenly, casual social media posts were being treated like coded messages about a superstar's future. Toronto rumors picked up steam right alongside the Montreal chatter. Reports linked McDavid to his hometown Maple Leafs, pointing out that Toronto had shifted its philosophy towards team-friendly extensions in recent seasons, fueling speculation that management there might already be positioning itself for a run at the best player in the world. None of this was ever officially confirmed by anyone inside McDavid's camp, but that never stopped speculation in a market this hungry for a superstar storyline. Every public appearance got dissected. Every trip, every photo, every quiet comment from an anonymous source became part of a growing narrative that Edmonton might actually lose the greatest player of his generation. Underneath all of that noise, there was a very real and very specific rumor that mattered far more than any trade speculation. Longtime Oilers insiders kept insisting that if McDavid did re-sign, it would not be a long, safe, 8-year commitment the way so many superstars typically choose. Instead, multiple respected voices close to the organization predicted McDavid would only sign a short bridge extension, keeping his options completely open rather than locking himself into Edmonton for the remainder of his prime. That rumor mattered more than any Montreal or Toronto speculation because it spoke directly to how McDavid actually views his own career and his own leverage. So here is exactly what happened. Rather than a blockbuster long-term extension, and rather than bolting for a new city entirely, Connor McDavid signed a 2-year extension worth $25 million total, carrying the exact same average annual value as his previous contract. That decision confirmed, in the clearest way possible, everything the smartest insiders had been predicting for months. He was not chasing a bigger payday elsewhere. He was not walking away from Edmonton. But he also was not handing the organization a blank check of security either. He kept the door open, positioning himself to reassess everything again in just 2 years, right as the franchise's championship window either opens wide or slams shut for good. Think about what this decision actually signals. A short bridge extension is not the move of a player who has given up on winning in Edmonton. It is the move of a player putting his current teammates and his current front office on notice. He is essentially saying, out loud through his actions, that he still believes a Stanley Cup is possible with this core, but that belief comes with a ticking clock attached. 2 years is not a lifetime commitment. It is closer to a final exam. Edmonton's front office now knows precisely how much time they have left to build a genuine contender around their captain before he reaches unrestricted free agency, with every single door in the league wide open to him. Every trade this season, every free agent signing, every coaching decision from this point forward will be measured against that same short clock, because there is no longer any pretending Edmonton has a decade to figure this out. They have a defined, narrow window, and their captain just told them so through the fine print of his own signature. That is real pressure applied quietly, without a single public complaint. And that urgency did not stop with the contract itself. Before we get into why this contract decision bled directly into one of the most controversial calls of Edmonton's entire offseason, if you love these deep dives into the business side of hockey, the contracts, the rumors, and the decisions that actually shape a franchise's future, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. We cover every major storyline in this league as it breaks, and this McDavid story is far from finished. It bled directly into one of the most controversial decisions Edmonton made all offseason, the hiring of a demanding old-school head coach with a reputation for being hard on his best players. When that hire drew heavy criticism from fans and analysts questioning whether that coaching style still worked in the modern league, McDavid did not stay quiet and let the backlash run its course. He confirmed, directly and publicly, that the hire was exactly what he and the team's leadership group wanted. He explained that the demanding new voice behind the bench was brought in specifically to push the franchise's top players harder, starting with himself and his longtime running mate up front. In his own words, he said they brought their new coach in to be hard on him and on Leon, the top guys, because that is who they want the accountability aimed at first. That is not the quote of a superstar quietly counting down the days until he can leave for a bigger market. That is the quote of a captain confirming in real time that he personally pushed for more accountability inside his own locker room. Longtime NHL insider Elliotte Friedman even praised McDavid directly for standing firm behind that coaching decision despite the criticism, noting that McDavid has a bite to him and that he simply does not back down once he believes something is the right move for winning. So when you put these two confirmations together, the short bridge contract and the public endorsement of a demanding new coach, the picture becomes incredibly clear. McDavid is not distancing himself from Edmonton. He is doubling down, but on his own terms, with a firm internal deadline attached. He is telling the organization that he will give this specific core, under this specific new coaching philosophy, one final real opportunity to win, before he has to seriously consider whether his championship window is better spent somewhere else entirely. For Edmonton fans who spent months anxiously refreshing headlines about Montreal and Toronto, this should actually feel like a relief, but not a completely comfortable one. Their captain is staying. Their captain is engaged, invested, and publicly backing bold decisions meant to finally get this roster over the hump. But their captain has also, through his own actions, confirmed that patience has a limit. 2 years from now, if Edmonton has not delivered a genuine championship opportunity, every single rumor that swirled this past year about Toronto, about Montreal, about a superstar ready to walk, will come roaring right back, except this time with far more evidence behind it and far less time left on the clock. That is the real story behind this headline. Connor McDavid, at 29 years old, standing at the peak of his powers, did not choose the easy long-term security most superstars in his position would have grabbed immediately. He chose accountability. He chose urgency. He confirmed the rumors that mattered most, not the tabloid speculation about which city he might prefer, but the far more important truth that he is not willing to simply coast through the remainder of his prime waiting for a championship to fall into his lap. He wants it forced into existence, starting with a coach hired specifically to demand more from him and backed by a contract that gives everyone involved exactly 2 years to prove this era of Oilers hockey can finally deliver. Whether Edmonton actually rises to meet that challenge is now the only question that matters. The rumors are settled. The confirmation has been made. The clock quietly but unmistakably has already started ticking. Consider what happens if Edmonton delivers. A championship inside this short window would silence every single rumor for good, cement McDavid as a true Oilers legend, rather than merely the best player never to win it all, and validate every uncomfortable decision made this offseason, from the coaching change to the short-term contract itself. But consider the alternative. If this new coaching staff cannot get the most out of this roster, if the same playoff disappointments repeat themselves, McDavid will walk into his next contract negotiation with maximum leverage and every reason in the world to seriously explore his options elsewhere. Toronto will still be waiting. Montreal will still be waiting. And this time, nobody will be able to dismiss it as just another baseless rumor.